What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tru Element 78 in the building with.
Your one and only reigning, defending Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer, the X-Man, Xavier Mustafa.
And everybody's favorite narcissist, the natural Chris Black.
And today is a very special edition of the Saturday Night Slamcasters, where we are here to review WWE Films Armed Response. But before we get into that, we have a special guest in the building with us, and we're going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
The longest reigning Legacy Pro champion, the sensational Devin August.
And pinner of Chris Black on multiple occasions.
One. Just one.
Just one? I swear I remember way more than one.
No, just when I went through the damn Lego shit.
Didn't he beat you for the Next Generation Championship too?
Yeah. Also, you did beat me twice.
And then wasn't it that other time where?
Nah, that was fantasy. That's some fantasy booking.
Man, he is the Shawn Michaels to your Bret Hart.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know why I called you Bret Hart.
Because I'm excellent. It's fitting.
Nah, I don't really know about that. But how have you been living, Mr. Devin August?
Good, life.
You gotta can barely hear you.
Sensational, doing good, living life,
How did you hold up during the pandemic? And we know Legacy Pro's been back. What else have you been up to?
Just training, working on trying to get back into it, get into good form with Legacy Pro. Yeah.
I see you got a brand new look going on with the bald head.
Haha, yes sir. I was tired of looking like LeBron James. I don't know how he looks in the mirror. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it.
And the beard is flourishing. You over here killing Xavier Mustafa.
Looking like a black champa.
Yes, sir. Black champa, black heart.
Yeah, you keep growing that beard like that. Xavier Mustafa gonna put you in a beard match against somebody.
That's a good idea.
Beard versus beard match. Mustafa versus Devin August.
Guess who's going over in that one?
Booker, man.
So, like I said, we're here to review WWE Films Armed Response. This, while I was watching this movie, I was thinking, was the moment that Seth Rollins was choking Hillary Clinton up against that wall and yanking her hair from the back, was that when Becky Lynch knew? Was that when she knew? But this
Hillary Clinton, bro.
if Anne Heche doesn't play Hillary Clinton in a movie down the line, she looks like Hillary Clinton in this movie.
See, now I can't unsee that.
I thought he was appropriately cast because I was like, oh, he gets to be an asshole in the movie. Okay.
We're gonna get in.
Yeah, I got something to say about that.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get into that because I was like, I feel like everything that Kobe Lopez, aka Seth Rollins, did in this film is him in real life.
No act.
He was probably the best actor out of all the movies that we've seen so far, besides, of course, The Rundown starring The Rock. But by that time, The Rock had some stuff under his belt. So, but yeah, Seth didn't have to do too much acting, I don't believe. But let me get into it real quick. So, Armed Response starred Wesley Snipes, Anne Heche, and Kobe Lopez. In the movie, honestly, I didn't read any synopsis about this movie before watching it. And I had to go and watch the synopsis to even understand what I was watching because I had no idea what this movie was about.
I'm not the only one. Jesus Christ.
I was completely lost for like the first 45 minutes of this film.
I understood it. What was wrong with y'all?
I've seen this after I watched. The whole temple thing makes no
Microphone. So let me go ahead and run down the synopsis. It says, This is according to IMDb. And as you guys know, we do spoiler reviews over here. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it, go watch it, then come back and listen to this. So a team of highly trained operatives, and I'm going to get into how highly trained they are as somebody here who was in the military. Operatives find themselves trapped inside an isolated military compound after its AI is suddenly shut down. The crew begins to experience strange and horrific phenomena as they attempt to uncover what killed the previous team. And the tagline for the movie was "No Retreat and No Mercy," and it was rated R. So, yeah. This film, actually, I'm going to let you guys go, and then I will say what my original thought. We'll start with our guest, Devin August. What were your thoughts on this film? Just overall, you don't got any shit.
Overall, I mean, I thought it was hard to watch it. I feel like they would have done a better job putting it together and making them make sense, or a little more character development. I would have been more into it, but it just wasn't me.
Mustafa?
All right, so I don't know if I was just watching a different movie than you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed all the way up to about the last 10 minutes of the movie. Because I didn't read the synopsis, you know that word that is not coming out of my mouth properly. I didn't read that beforehand, so I had no idea what this movie was about. When I looked up to it, I was like, oh, Wesley Snipes in this? What? All right, cool. And so I started watching it, and I was like, it was suspenseful. I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand. Like, okay, is this like a scary movie? Is this a horror movie? Like, is something going to jump out? Like, the whole time I'm trying to figure things out. I enjoyed it. Now, at the end, that's when it started, circle the toilet bowl for me.
See, and I thought that Chris Black was the one who got high on this podcast. But it sounds like Xavier Mustafa took some shit that he can keep to himself. Keep that shit over there.
Listen, I've seen some terrible horror movies recently, like The Conjuring. I'm not talking about that movie. That movie was booty. Seeing this movie, though, I was like, okay, all right, something suspenseful. Okay, I'm down. I like it. All
right, Chris Black.
Oh, boy, where do I start? This movie was the shits. It was absolute garbage, like straight up hot garbage.
We got to put that on a t-shirt for you for the podcast. It's the shits.
Dude, 2017, yeah, I bet you they used WWE's writers because the storyline, it made sense, but it didn't. This movie wasn't sure if it wanted to be a horror or sci-fi or a thriller. It didn't know. This movie was just straight up. Look, I'm going to go back to the 90s. This movie was whack. This is one of those movies where I'm going to only see it once, and I am fine if I never see it ever again.
Okay. I'm not going to remember watching this movie. And honestly, this was the first film that we watched in our series where I almost turned it off and was like, I'm not finishing this movie. I'm just going to go on the podcast, and I'm going to let everybody know how booty this movie was.
Dude,
this has been my favorite one.
Bro, if we weren't going to review this would have been like to this day, I've never seen the Blair Witch Project from start to finish because I cut it off when they were yelling at each other about that goddamn map. I'm gonna age myself. I took the motherfucking tape back to Blockbuster and was just like, I want my money back.
And when he says tape, he means cassette. This was before film. This was when it was audio only. He listened to War of the Worlds on the radio live, and then he went and got the Blair Witch Project on cassette.
Straight up, if we weren't going to review this movie, I think I would have turned it off like at least 20 minutes in. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, this was one of the most boring films I have seen in a very long time. I can't even remember one. For the first 28 minutes of this movie, there is no action. It is literally a movie. It is a door opening simulator. It's just watching people open doors and walk down hallways.
Everything happened off.
The only scene that I enjoyed in that movie, well, okay, I'm sorry, that's a bad word to say I enjoyed. The only scene that I was just like, well, I thought they were going to go somewhere was when the kid died. And the second scene after the title credits, I'm just like, oh shit, like I thought that was going to play a role. Not really.
That actually was comical to me now because
Heartless.
man, fuck them kids. Anyways,
Okay, Anakin Skywalker.
this guy sees his daughter barreling towards the freeway on her bicycle after her training wheels falls off, and he did the slowest jog. No, don't go. Oh, okay, no more child support. All right.
I thought this scene was very Pet Cemetery. Y'all seen the original Pet?
Yeah, he pursued that girl going down that hill on that bike with the same enthusiasm that Chris Black pursues Title.
See? Wow. See? We gonna do that?
Hold on now. Chris Black is a former Legacy Pro Heavyweight champion.
Thank you.
And
Former being the word.
Yeah.
Former being the word. He hasn't held a
Remember,
title in
I'm
3
one
years.
title away from a Triple Crown, the only Triple Crown champion in Legacy.
But you haven't held a belt in 3 years.
You think? You might be right about that. But
Okay.
to be fair, I haven't had a title shot either since I lost it. So
Face somebody for the next generation title.
no, I'm talking about heavyweight.
Yeah.
A title is a title. I think at this point you just need
I already
one.
gave Devin August his props for defeating me.
So,
I like the eye roll. Go ahead, Mustafa.
The thing I would say about this movie is, okay, so I went into it already with low expectations because it's a WWE produced movie, and a lot of the ones that we've seen hadn't been the greatest, okay? Except maybe the exception of the Rundown, you know, the, what's the one with Hulk Hogan, No Holds Barred, that was more of a nostalgia thing, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, that really was awful, but I remember from my childhood, so we'll just say it's great when it's not. But this movie, I went in with low expectations, and I was like, wow, as it ranks in horror movies, this is pretty good. Now, I know y'all...
What
I know y'all
the
hate
dude?
it,
Now I'm convinced you really smoking something.
Yeah.
He
And
said,
then, like, there
Puff
was-
puff
there was
pass.
There was 2 parts in the movie where it was a ringing, and if you have surround sound, that shit was intense. I was like, whoa.
yeah, when they were fucking with Wesley Snipes. The funny thing about this movie to me, so this is the type of horror film you do where like you have zero budget, and I really think that we could do a Legacy Pro film with the same budget that it took for them to make this movie. We just couldn't afford Wesley Snipes. But
And
Yeah,
have
this
better
film-
acting.
yeah, this film was booty. They used the entire budget on war crimes. That was also interesting to me, and that's what I want to touch on. Being in the military, watching them breach this building and go down these corridors and the way they stack on doors and enter rooms, I'm like, if there was really somebody in there that took out y'all whole squad, y'all would have all been dead instantly. Within like they went the last 5 minutes, him and his elite squad, and again, Hillary Clinton and Hesh was like 70 years old, man, just get knocked out real quick.
I like how they were, like, when they first went in, they were going through the little cells or whatever, opening up and checking. Then they went to another section. They walked past like 13 doors, and then they started checking rooms again. I was like, so y'all not even gonna look in these other rooms, huh? Okay. Great job, guys.
So let's see here. What was your favorite scene in this movie? We'll start with our guest, Devin August.
Definitely my favorite. The only good scene is when dude got his arms
Ripped off.
amputated. Yeah, ripped off at the end of the movie. I think that was cool. That was the only, to me, that was the only cool part of this movie. Even the action scenes were mediocre. That was the only thing else.
Chris Black.
I got to think long and hard about what parts I actually liked about this movie. So I don't know. I kind of like the whole, I don't want to call it a twist, but the whole Machine was the one who contacted dude. What's his name? Mehdi?
Gabriel.
No. The
bad
guy.
guy.
Yeah, the bad guy. They called him in. I kind of like the fact that the callbacks to kind of let you know what was kind of clue the viewers in, what was going on, like behind the scenes. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes to help explain keep the storyline going. I guess I kind of like that. Like the machine called the dude. It did kind of tie itself up, and towards the end.
Marty, that was his name.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I guess I don't know. That's the part that I kind of like. I'm always rooting for the villains, so I kind of like that.
Mustafa.
See, you didn't know he was the villain until the end.
Nah.
Yeah,
you know what? I did like the machine, how the machine worked, how the interrogations worked, how it kind of got into all your synapses and it could read your mind. I did like that. I thought the machine was pretty cool.
Mustafa.
So I would say that was my favorite part. Like the first interrogation where they were like reading his electrical impulses. I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. What's the sci-fi? What's that about?
No, it's just when this movie first started and we started having a little sci-fi element. Well, actually, when it first started, they were just shooting at nothing, and I'm like, oh, this is about to be a Predator ripoff. Then as the movie progresses and you realize that the machine has become sentient or whatever, I'm like, oh, so now this is like Eagle Eye, if you've ever seen the movie Eagle Eye.
That's what I was thinking, except Eagle Eye did it better. Way better.
Eagle Eye did it way better.
Much better film.
Okay.
And then it was like it meets, I don't even know, it was like Eagle Eye meets something else, because the Phantom or whatever didn't really even play a part, even though it was crazy because it kept like showing up, but it wasn't doing shit.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't understand why we're supposed to be afraid of it.
That's that
This horror
WWE
movie
writing.
made no sense.
I was like, is that Xavier Mustafa standing at the top of the entrance ramp in Legacy Pro? Willie or won't he? As long as I guess I'm healthy, he ain't never gonna get back in that ring because he knows what's gonna happen. But that's a story for another day.
Right. Okay, can somebody explain to me what initially drained the power source?
I guess it was using all of his energy to do those memories and teleport people and shocking everybody.
Because I would think if you can make a shadow creature run around and do stuff, if you can reach out through walls and rip people's arms off, you should be able to go down to the generator room and hit some switches.
It's WWE. Like they're booking. You know why? Reasons.
Yeah, the craziest part of this to me was, again, this was supposed to be an elite team. They got team members who have been dying. At first, they go in to rescue a team or to find out what happened to a team that they find completely dead. And then once they find all the people and they're dead, and then even one of their own teammates is killed, they're still going off by themselves, walking around this building. As somebody who's in the military, you don't ever go anywhere by yourself. Even if you're in an elite squad, you're gonna have a partner somewhere. Let's just, hey, you go check that out. You go check that out.
I hated that. So gather as a group, and then they'll leave one person behind. I'll be like, oh.
And especially as the computer technician got the kid, it's like all these people dead. Y'all don't know why everybody dead, and y'all just, hey, you stay here in this big old open cafeteria where anything can take you out. Instead of going back to the lock secure camera room or whatever and doing your work. Everything was done in this movie for convenience sake.
Can we talk about Seth Rollins?
Hold on, I just got one more thing and then we can get on Seth Rollins. I didn't say what my favorite scene was. My favorite scene actually was, and not because of the war crime, but just that scene, because that was the most intense part of the whole film, when they were in the Kush Mountains and doing their interrogation of this guy who was supposed to be providing them with intel, but he was like listening to both sides, and they had to figure out what was going on with him. And his wife and his daughter are trying to plead with all the soldiers, don't hurt him, don't kill him, and shit just straight up hits the fan. And now we can talk about Seth Rollins and his itching trigger finger throughout this entire film. He was a straight up dick throughout the. For those of you who have listened to our review of The Condemned, he was basically the Russian guy.
Look, so did the people who produced this movie see Seth Rollins in his Shield stuff and was just like, there's our guy. Like, this is who we should put in the movie. But I felt like he was miscast. I do think that ever since we've seen the whole tribal chief persona, I think Roman Reigns would have been a much better person for this role. Because he's got the more military, he comes off like The Rock in the Fast and the Furious. Big muscle-bound military dude. He's way more intimidating than Seth Rollins. He's got a much more intimidating voice. Seth Rollins got that sniveling, weaselly voice that everyone talks shit about. I don't know. I just think that he was miscast. Was he a dick? Sure. He pulled that part off right. But I think Roman Reigns would have been a much better choice.
I don't know about in 2017.
That's why I said, because we've seen the tribal chief persona and we see that he can pull that off, just being just a straight up like, well, an asshole, you know, and a kind of like a bully. I mean, that's what Seth Rollins was trying to portray. Like a badass. I don't see badass when I think Seth Rollins.
I can picture Roman Reigns totally being like the guy, the Rollins character in this movie. And he's just like, had that look on his face like he has now and be like, the computer? Are you trying to tell me the computer did this? We're family. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. I know you're on the computer better.
This computer's alive.
He be like, Jay, go take care of that. Jay, you fix this or else.
You had Dominic Mysterio getting power bombed off of the top of the Gen Pop area. But who's that shadow creature with Dominic as Roman Reigns about to shoot him up?
So this film was released on August 4th, 2017. And can anybody guess, I don't know if you guys looked it up, how much money do you think this movie made?
I was trying to find that.
So, let's just say, I think every single one of us on this podcast makes more money in a year than this movie made worldwide.
How much did it cost to make?
This movie...
I've never heard of this movie. So that's why I know this movie didn't make any money.
This movie made $52,000 and $52,036.
I'm sorry, can you say that number again? You were busy cutting me off when you said it, so I didn't hear it. What did you say now?
So this movie made $52,000.
Sounds about
Hey, Wesley Snipes like, as long as the tax man got paid, God damn it, I don't give a fuck.
And how much did it cost to make this movie?
That I will have to find for you. I couldn't find that anywhere.
All right, hold on.
Man, there was no setting. It was just, one building.
No, two buildings. They filmed the entire thing in New Orleans as well.
What are you talking about? Wesley Snipes talking about the tax man get paid. He wasn't paying the tax man at this point.
In 2017, he still had tax debt. What you talking about?
Wasn't this when he went to jail?
No, he went to jail in like 2014, 2013.
Oh shit, that long ago? Oh, that's why he did this shitty movie, because he need to make that, what's that called when you get out of jail and you gotta pay that money back?
Devin August?
I forgot what it's called, but yeah, he had to pay that.
Devin August got to look like he just got out of jail. He shaved his head, he grew out a beard, he converted to Islam while he was in there like a motherfucker. He know all about the Kush Mountain. Actually, you and Chris Black both know about the Kush Mountain.
I was about to say, I already know.
I think they so embarrassed about how much money they probably lost. I don't see it anywhere either.
Yeah. And that's been the thing with WWE films. None of them that we've reviewed have I been able to find how much they cost to make. They keep that kind of close to the chest.
God damn, 52,000. That is some sad shit.
And this was directed by John Stockwell. I didn't mention that. And it was written by Matt Sevoloni, who this is his only film credit.
Oh, why?
He never worked in the industry again. Yeah, this is the movie that Xavier Mustafa is toting as his favorite one that we've reviewed so far.
I enjoyed the suspense, man. Hey, just an FYI, in DVD and Blu-ray sales, it made almost $50,000.
Oh, that helps when it's never in a theater. Well, like you said, I never heard of this either. Nor did I know that Seth Rollins had even been in the movie. Like when I was looking it up to try to find it so I can watch it, I wasn't sure I was watching the right movie. I'm like, Wesley Snipes. And then I saw the WWE film thing and I saw Seth Rollins in the crowd. I'm like, oh, okay, I am watching the right movie.
One more thing. This was the last film that this director directed.
Look, I've been so embarrassed. I probably wouldn't direct anything else either.
Vince McMahon says, you'll never work in this town again.
You know, he gave him a writing job.
This director became an actor after this film. That's all I see is acting credit. Oh, actually, no. Those aren't even after this film. He hasn't done anything since 2017. Maybe he made enough money. Maybe WWE paid him such a shit ton of money to make this turd. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this movie, as far as like Seth Rollins, like you said, like you felt like he was miscast. I felt like he was cast perfectly. He just doesn't really know how to act. But the little physical parts, I actually think that this was when Seth was injured, actually, if I remember right, back in 2017. So I think he might have had more to do in this film, but due to his injury restrictions, he probably couldn't carry them out.
I did. It made sense. Fights that was terrible.
Well, all his fight scenes was him beating up women and a nerd, so he didn't come off very tough.
Yo, but he didn't beat her up. All he did is throw her on the ground, throw on some walls, and then just choke her.
Oh yeah, then that C4 scene where the C4 exploded, I was like, that was the puniest explosion I've ever seen. What the hell is Michael Bay? What was Michael Bay doing?
Was it? Would you say that it was worse than AEW's exploding ring match?
Same level.
Listen, that was C1. That wasn't C4. They didn't have the budget for
that was C1/2.
C1.
Wait, yeah. What was the plan of that? Well, like, I understand, like, breaking out of the building, but, like, they were still in, like, a prison, like, yard, right?
Well, that was the thing that didn't make any sense to me, was he was blowing up the building from the inside when they had access to the parking garage where the guy got his brains ran over, which that was also very comical because they just literally just had a brain laying out there like, this is how the human brain looks. No, it's not.
That C4 part with Seth Rollins, no.
Chris Blacks looks so like he is over there so disgusted by this film. And I'm disgusted at Mustafa for liking this film. I don't know if we can continue letting you on the reviews, man. Never listen to you guys no longer have to listen to XM Cinema. This man cannot be trusted. He has been paid off by the WWE. He is a plant. He has sold his soul to Peacock.
Events they found out.
You know who we won't be hearing on the Chris Jericho podcast? Xavier Mustafa.
Yeah, I don't understand. What did you like about this goddamn movie? You said it was suspenseful.
In the beginning, trying to figure out what's really going on.
Dude,
I thought this shadowy creature was about to murder everybody, and then I was like, he didn't murder anybody.
Bro.
And then that's when the walls start moving and shit like that.
I've never had to focus so hard in my life to watch a movie straight through. I so wanted to tune out or just turn it off.
You know what? Okay, yeah. This was Eagle Eye mixed with The Conjuring 2. Because The Conjuring 2 came out in 2016. And remember, that's when they had the Slender Man or the Crooked Man. And he was like the shadowy figure. And he was doing all that shit. Yeah, that's all they did. They ripped off The Conjuring 2 and Eagle Eye.
It mixed in a little bit of Paranormal Activity when the ghost was in the video games and shit. Was it the Xbox?
Yeah, and also, you know what? Also, why was that tub full of water that she got strangled in? Why was it just a random tub full of water?
Reasons.
Because listen. Somebody was about to take a bath after they got done with dinner. But they didn't make
that
dinner.
Cold ass water.
Look at you trying to make sense of this bullshit movie. This movie was garbage,
Man, let me just go ahead and just make this known. Xavier Mustafa, for liking this movie, your career as a reviewer is over. You might as well shut it down. Stick to reviewing the challenge.
I would like to take a poll and see how many people actually like this fucking film. Oh, wait, hold on. I've got it pulled up. Rotten Tomatoes. The tomato meter, 0%. Audience score, 18%.
18%, that's something. That's better than nothing.
How many times did you vote?
All right, listen. Maybe because I've seen The Conjuring 2 and I'm disappointed at horror movies, and maybe I was
Hold on. Nah, you gotta interrupt. Not because you've seen The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2 is one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Sorry, Conjuring 2. The Conjuring, the devil made me do it, the new one.
Yeah, 3. But even 3 isn't as bad as The Nun and Il Lorana and all of that other.
The Nun was bad. El Lorana, I don't think it was as bad as The Conjuring. But it was bad. The Nun was the worst.
I haven't seen The Nun or Conjuring 3, but already I can tell that those movies are better than this one.
They're supposed to be coming out with The Nun too, so I'm like, y'all better do better this time.
Yeah.
I'm very sad with the horror genre right now. I love horror movies. Actually, when I get off here, I'm gonna watch Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys about that offline. But so, Devin August, if you had to recast this movie from the talent in Wisconsin, who is going to be Wesley Snipes' character? There's a lot of dead air.
That'll be me probably.
And he's muted, I think, because I can't hear him.
Nah, that's too hard. Don't know really got the military.
Shit. T.C. Washington. Give T.C. Washington that. Give him that spot.
Yeah.
All right.
I like how he was in this movie.
Who?
He was Passenger 57. He was Blade. He was everything. The only thing he wasn't was the character he played in Tu Wong Fu.
The Art of War.
If he would end up being a drag queen, I don't know how that would have worked.
It would have made the movie interesting.
So who would have been Seth Rollins' character?
I think a guy Logan. First, we talking about what?
Yeah.
That is his name?
Logan Lasher?
Lynch? Is that his name?
No, not fucking Lynch. You serious?
Where is he from? Where? Logan Lynch.
Looks like Seth Rollins.
Oh, I'm thinking Adrian Lynch. I'm like, what the fuck? Why?
So we got TC and this other guy. Okay. Well, those are the main two characters.
I would put forgetting his name real quick. Help me out, Mustafa. The whole guy that you did a Monster of the Midwest. Sadist. I can see Sadist playing Seth Rollins' role. Because I don't know. I picture that role as being someone big and intimidating. And Seth just was not it.
Well, remember he ended up having the muscle as a Mahdi or whatever.
I guess
that was the big intimidating guy. Which they didn't even explain that, like how when he was in the chair and he got electrocuted and then all of a sudden his muscles leveled up. I was like, oh, I thought it was about to get interesting. Like, oh, whatever's in the building is about to possess him.
This movie turned into that old school horror. I haven't even seen it. Shocker. Remember that shit? That was probably a shitty ass movie too.
I almost bought that movie.
I'm like, oh hell, it don't turn into Shocker.
But I'm glad I could put the image in your head that Anne Heche is going to play Hillary Clinton. That Hillary Clinton starred in Armed Response with Wesley Snipes and Seth Rollins.
Well, now that you said it, what woman in the business would you book for her role? Riley.
While you think about that, it said Gene Simmons was in here as a male suspect. I didn't even recognize where Gene Simmons was in this film.
I'd never recognize him outside the makeup whenever he's in movies.
I hope they didn't pay him a lot for that.
Was he the first guy they were? No, that wasn't. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know from my time, I don't want to say in Hollywood because I don't work in Hollywood, but from my time in the film industry out in California, what I learned
the casting
is
couch.
Oh no!
Never. Is what people do with these independent films is they would pay well, not necessarily a lot of money, but it can be a lot of money for stars to come in and they'd be like, listen, okay, you give me for this one day or this amount of money, and they just get in there and just get a movie credit for it.
It does look like this was filmed in a day.
I'm pretty sure Wesley Snipes was like, oh, it's like, oh, you in the area? Do you want to play this role? He was like, yeah. Got 8 hours. Let's do it.
See, what I want to know is if when they hired Wesley Snipes, if for the whole day they had to call him Isaac or he wouldn't respond to him. That's what I want to know. He was just stayed in character the whole day. Wesley, we gotta get back to set. Who the fuck is Wesley? Isaac. I'm sorry, Isaac. We need you back on the set. For those of you who don't know the story that happened on the set of Blade,
right?
Blade 3 specifically.
Yeah,
he wanted to stay in character the whole time.
Hey, he would. That's what we need in WWE right now.
Right. People that commit.
He's the only actor to do that. Like, they
Jim
said
Carrey.
Heath Ledger was they thought that was Psycho.
Jim Carrey during the Truman Show.
No, Jared Leto. Jared Leto, the Joker. They said behind the scenes he was like doing really weird shit, like putting dead shit in people's bags or something like that. He used to do some real fucked up pranks on people and laugh like he's the goddamn Joker.
It was used condoms and dead pig. I met Jared Leto before, and he is weird, but he's one of the coolest celebrities I've ever met. So, usually you guys know we go into a lot of detail about this movie, but honestly, we told you guys pretty much the whole damn movie. That is a walking and door opening simulator for about the first 30 minutes of the film. Then it's like 3 different films in like the second act. And then the third act is just straight up poltergeist. And
it got real weird in the end.
And Xavier Mustafa loved it. So let me go ahead and ask Devin August. The year is almost over. What are your plans for the rest of 2021 and heading into 2022?
Sunday, we got
we don't know when this is dropping.
July 4th, Legacy.
Just gonna just breeze right past that.
This ain't dropping this weekend. I don't know when this is being released.
Oh, man.
So just what are your plans in general for 2021?
Get back in the ring. Get back you thing.
Plan on pursuing any title specifically in 2021 heading into 2022?
Give my baby back. Like my baby. First ever.
What other places do you work for? Like how do you plan on, like, what is your plans on like expanding? I know like a lot of guys want to just, get out the states and stuff like that. So have you reached out to some other bookings in other states?
Yeah. I'm starting to reach out to a lot of bookers in my state in Illinois and down south. I'm working with Rocket Pro Wrestling. They run out in Joliet. They're doing stuff. Springfield to Joliet opens up. But off privilege, they got a building in Indiana where.
What's the highest? That's a weird question. As far as your plans, like long term, like what level of success would you say I made it? Like where would you like Ring of Honor, WWE, NXT, AEW, fucking NWA?
If I could pick out all those, this would be NXT. If I made NXT, I'd definitely say I made it. Yeah. Goal of mine.
Let me, let me ask you a question as far as being a smaller guy in the industry. How does it make you feel, or how did it make you feel to see what WWE has done to 205 Live, knowing what most of those guys out there were capable of? And I know you got a lot of the moveset of those guys, and like even like I've compared you to some of the guys that were down there in 205 Live. It's mainly Cedric Alexander. Like, you reminded me of Cedric Alexander a lot. So, like, what are your thoughts on how WWE? Because I know you just said NXT, but how do you feel about the way that you've seen those guys get treated?
Like Tony Nese and all, I think all those guys are great. And when 205 Live was good, in the beginning, I definitely wanted to be a part of that with, since I was in that type of weight class, type thing like that.
Off topic, I think that the whole small guy experiment is over at WWE. They're looking for recruits that are over 6 feet and over 230 pounds or 220 pounds. So I think Vince is just like, you've had your chance. I'm tired of you little motherfuckers. Not that you a little motherfucker, I'm just saying.
I think he's calling you out again. I think he wants some hands. I think Chris Black forgot that lesson you gave him.
Oh, yeah, we can go third round. We can go third round, book the match.
Book a cage. Book a cage.
Mustafa looking like, man, that's the armed response budget. We ain't got that. Oh, man. But that's all I got to say about this film. On a letter grade, I give this movie, actually, I'm going to say this. I watched this movie on Vudu, and it got the lowest rating that I've ever given a movie I watched on Vudu. I gave it 1 star. So on a scale of A to F, this gets an F for me.
I give it D. I give it.
Shit. What was worse than an F in school? Incomplete.
NC.
Shit, hell yeah. No, I'll give it a B for boring. Shit.
I'm gonna give it a strong C.
All right. You want to go ahead and give out your social medias and where people can find you, Devin August?
Delanza Bass on Facebook and Delanza _DA on Instagram.
All right. Everybody else, y'all want to give out y'all social medias?
You can catch me at Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and Twitter. And you can catch me on my solo podcast, XM Cinema. It has not been canceled yet.
Do not trust this man.
At XM Cinema on Facebook, Twitter, and on the gram.
You can catch me at The Natural Chris Black on Instagram and on Facebook, and on Twitter at _natural_CB. And as always, if you're a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, be sure to check out my YouTube channel dedicated to all things New Japan.
Hey, you can catch me at Slamcaster TE78 over on Twitter. Also, be sure to check out our Discord channel. Just search Saturday Night Slamcasters. We're going to be a lot more active over there, and we'd love to have you guys over there. Also, since you're here on the YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you're notified whenever new episodes go up, and leave us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let us know what you think about the show. Feel free to leave a comment, all of those good things. Also, check us out over on Facebook, where we have 2 different pages, our official Slamcaster page, as well as our Slamcaster Slam board, where you can interact with the community and talk about topics ranging from everything from wrestling to cars to films. 2021 is a big year for films. There's going to be a lot of talk over there about stuff like Black Widow that dropped earlier in the year, as well as Space Jam and a lot of other things that have dropped. So be sure to join in on the discussion. And other than that,
hold on, let me add to that. So for those of you listening, like right now, yeah, you who's listening right now, why are you not hitting the subscribe button? If you made it this far, obviously you've been entertained. I don't know what it is about YouTube sometimes. Subscribe so that we know that you guys appreciate the content. I know you're out there because we see the views. So I don't know why you can't hit that little red subscribe button, but go ahead and do that right now. Again, if you've made it this far, the least you can do is hit that subscribe button.
Do it.
See, the
Do it now.
feedback that I'm getting is a lot of people just believe that the Tru Element is trash. So they
Damn.
tolerate it for us and our guests, but they be like that other dude, like, what's up?
So you're saying we might have to give him his walk-in papers?
You might.
Man, Xavier Mustafa is really trying to beat Chris Black on being able to recognize the ceilings of all the different buildings in Wisconsin. The only difference is Mustafa's going to recognize them as he hurls towards the ground from the top of them. Anyways, thank you for listening. Holla at your boy. Come get slammed. Peace.